Regal Draft League is back for Season 3. Holy crap, it only feels like yesterday that Season 2 was ending. But here we are, and it's time to prep for the draft. Like I said in my Season 2 review, Season 3 I am focusing on playing to my strengths. And all that will start with the draft. I haven't gone overboard with the team building, though I did have a bit of fun theory crafting a bunch of squads early on. So I really needed to build a hyper offense squad. A team that could go fast and hit ridiculously hard with little or no setup. Pull on the pressure from frame 1 and force my opponents to react to my play instead of the other way around. I really wanted a team that would leave me with no real excuses at the end of the season. A team that would be me playing my game and mean that if I lose, it's on me or on hacks / bad luck, which in a way is still on me. So with that in mind, what did I want to draft? Number 1 priority, Prankster Tailwind. Since I cannot stand the Prankster bugs, I have 3 options here: Tornadus, Whimsicott, and Murkrow. Been working with Tommy and Chal on draft strategies, and Tommy wants Torn, so that leaves me building around Murkrow and Whimsicott. Luckily for me, they have a lot of the same tools, so beyond typing, I don't really need to build vastly different based on getting either of these. One key tool that both of them get that I can work around is Sunny Day. I, of course, don't want to go hard Sun again, but I can draft some Sun abusers. Give my opponents something else to worry about in prep. Number 2, and technically number 3, a strong physical and a strong special attacker that can both synergize with my Tailwind support. This is where things could change slightly depending on which Tailwind setter I draft, since you don't really want to overlap typings there. I started with Whimsicott, since that would obviously be my first choice. Then I can adjust the entire team to fit Murkrow afterwards. 2 Mons immediately came to mind when looking at the physical and special attacker that are very strong, synergize very well with Whims. They were Annihilate and Walking Wake. Annihilate, obviously, because of beat up strategies, but also because the Anger Monkey can really benefit from Tailwind. It's not as slow base wise as you'd think, but because you really want to bulk it out, this typically takes away from speed. But this is draft. I don't have to go full bulk. And with Whims in tow, that issue is kind of solved. The other tool that Whims gets that helps the ape is Light Screen. Since bulk up boosts Annihilate's physical defense, adding Light Screen now makes it incredibly bulky, and with a +1 attack and Drain Punch, it's going to be really hard to get off the field. Wake is also pretty obvious with the synergy. Sunny Day plus Tailwind, no brainer with Walking Wake. Whims also gets Fake Tears to reduce opponent's special defense, making this an incredibly dangerous duo. I'm pretty sure a Hydro Steam in the sun after a Fake Tears is going to OHKO just about anything, even if it's resisted. Number 3, very fast Fake Out. since we're going to want to get multiple moves off with Whims, we're going to need to support her with a fast fake out. But it needs to be a fast fake out that can deal damage. So it's not just fake out and switch. I really don't like that from my fake out mons. Looking at you, Incineroar. With my very expensive first 3 picks, they'll also need to be on the cheaper end, and ideally not overlap typing. So, time to scrounge. After a bit of digging, this left me with Weavile, Sneasel, Raichu, Munkidori, and Ambipom. Munkidori was a little on the expensive side, and Chal wanted to draft it, so that went out the window. Raichu synergizes so well with Walking Wake because of its Lightning Rod ability, and on top of that has a lot of other tools to support Annihilate. 90 special attack isn't the best, but it's good enough to chunk the opposition. Ambipom synergizes better with Ape because of its normal typing and access to beat up, but like Raichu has a lot of other tools to support and help the others. 100 attack is better than Raichu, but still isn't going to be picking up any big KOs. But it does have some really cool abilities in Technician and Skill Link, plus some good coverage to take advantage of. Probably better coverage than Raichu. First choice here though will be Raichu. But only if I get Walking Wake. Number 4, Redirection. If I want to go for setup, or I'm going for a multi-turn build-up with Whimsicott, then I need Redirection to help get that off. Since I'm wanting to play Hyper Offense, like the Fake Out Mon, this piece also needs to put out damage. So something like a Clefairy isn't going to cut it. I also don't think Rage Powder is as good in draft as in regular VGC. So that's going to be further down the priority list. Since Follow Me can't be blocked, that's going to be my first priority. Here we do have a couple of options, but unfortunately they're pretty expensive. Mousehold or an Ogerpon form. Luckily, it's been decided that all 4 Ogerpon forms are going to be allowed this season. Ogerpon has incredible damage output and a surprising amount of support tools that never see use in regular VGC. Mousehold also has amazing support tools, but also has Friend Guard, and the advantage of being immune to the ghost attacks that would normally hit Ape for super effective damage. Below these, we also have Magmar and Electabuzz. Electabuzz doesn't really have the damage output of a Mouse or Ogerpon, but it has speed control in Electro Webs. Magmar has damage control with Wisp, and with 100 special attack can actually output a decent amount of damage. I'm expecting all of the Ogerpons to be gone by the time I get to picking this piece. And because Electabuzz shares typing with Raichu, and Magmar is also ground weak, I'm going to go with Mousehold here. And to be honest with you, it might turn out to be the better pick overall. So, with these tools in the box, we now need to fill out the rest of the team. First one going in is one I've been trying to use in the previous 2 seasons. It has a lot of synergy with Whimsicott and is the mascot of the channel, Lucario. Survivability justified, it can also get beaten up by Whimsicott, but instead of getting stacks on a move, it gets +4 attack. Not many things in VGC will want to take a +4 Terra Normal extreme speed from Lucario. If I need a nuke button, I can absolutely use this strategy. This gives us 6 mons at a cost of 63. So 17 points for 3 more Pokemon. What I'd like here is another Photosynthesis mon, a fire type, which would ideally be a fairy resist. So not a dual typing that makes that neutral. Final Pokemon will just round out the squad. The fire type I've had my eye on last season and this is Delphox. In my opinion, it is a very underrated Pokemon. Pretty fast, over 104. With 114 special attack, it can output some decent damage, especially if the sun is up. And it has some amazing support tools like dual screens, helping hand, Will-O-Wisp. At 4 points, it is crazy cheap for what I need. Now we have 13 points for 2 Pokemon. Photosynthesis mon I've had my eye on is Sandy Shocks. It fits the team. It fits the team really well. The only issue is the additional ground weakness on an already pretty ground weak team. But there aren't going to be many cases when I'd be using Raichu and Sandy Shocks on the same team. We have 4 points left. The only real stipulation for our final pick is that it resists ground. So grass, flying, rock, or levitating Pokemon. I've got my eye on 4 mons. Haunter, Rotom Frost, Leafeon, and Poltergeist. Leafeon synergizes really well with the Sun mode, but will be kinda useless outside that. Rotom Frost could be great, but its only ice move is Blizzard, meaning the only stab we'd be using would be electric, and kinda hurts. So that leaves us with Haunter, which Tommy used to great effect last season, and Poltergeist. I'm going to go with Haunter. Poltergeist adds another redirection, which, yes, could free up Mousehold to go more offensive, but I just think Haunter has more tools and more offense potential. Instead of drafting Poltergeist and making Mousehold the offensive piece in those teams, we can leave Mousehold as the support piece and have it do the same thing for an offensively built Haunter that it does for Annihilate, redirecting away those super effective ghost attacks that it is immune to. Haunter also gives us a good Trick Room counter, or even a Trick Room mode, if we want to go that route. Final step before draft is to check what substitutions we have for each mon. Obviously, for Whimsicott, we'll have Murkrow. This will mean getting a replacement grass type later. The one I had my eye on for this would be Victory Bell. It works really, really well with the Sun mode. And with Gluttony, can be a bulky, annoying mon outside of that. For Raichu, we obviously have Ambipom, which I don't think will change too much on the team, other than giving us an extra point to play with elsewhere. For Annihilate, I think what I do is go Spectrier. I like the synergy that Spectrier also has with Mousehold. It's ridiculously fast, hits stupid hard, and with that Grenade boost can quickly get out of hand. Replace Walking Weight though, I'm honestly not sure. It would probably be another dragon. I like the idea of Latios, which would be 1 point cheaper and mean I'd need another water type. So I have to switch Honda or probably Vaporeon. I like a lot of the tools that Vaporeon brings to the table, but I'm not 100% sold on it. With Mousehold, we've got a few different options, but they would probably all require adjustments because they'll be adding more ground weakness. So if we can't get Mousehold, we'll have to switch Raichu for Ambipom. And then I think the best fit would be Electabuzz. Which would give us an extra 7 points to replace Haunter with. Which I actually like the idea of having 11 points in my back pocket for my last pick to just pick the best available mon that fits the team. Lucario, I highly doubt anyone will take ahead of me. Him, along with Sandy Shocks and Delphox, can probably be replaced on the fly. It's not a massive loss if I can't get a second photosynthesis mon for that proto spam mode, and as well as Delphox fits this team, it's not going to be a huge loss if we don't get it. So with that, we are ready for the draft. We almost hit the jackpot. We got the second pick. So I crossed absolutely everything and hoped that Twim wouldn't take Whimsicott with the top pick. Luckily, they went for Indeedee Female. So with the second pick of the draft, Woobats snagged the top priority. We got our Cotton Puff. Now though, we had a very anxious wait as the 10 other players in the league would get 2 picks before we got another. Luckily, 20 picks came and went with 0 snipes. But now we had a very tough decision to make. 2 Ogerpon forms were available. Teal Mask Ogerpon and Cornerstone. 2 that aren't highly thought of in regular VGC. But Cornerstone, especially with its 100% accurate Stone Edge, could be an absolute monster in draft. Twim, having already taken a redirection mon, may not be that interested in an Ogre. So I decided that I would grab Annihilate, guarantee my beat up call, and take whichever Ogerpon form was still available when the picks came back around. Twim took Iron Crown to complete his Psy Spam core, and Politoed, letting me get an incredible redirection option in Cornerstone Ogerpon. With Sturdy, this thing can be phenomenal redirection option, and with the +1 defense from Terror, can be built incredibly bulky and live hits it really shouldn't. Throw in the fact that I can Sword Stance, stab rock move this thing. It's insane. Possibilities are endless. The next 20 picks, though, weren't as lucky. Ted snagged Walking Wake with his third pick, forcing a pivot. With Psyspam being on the board, I really wanted to grab a Dark type to give us an immunity, though I didn't want to rush in and take Latios. I decided to take a risk and leave my Water and Dragon types for the last 2 picks, giving me time to think things through properly and get some opinions before jumping in. With Wake gone, I also decided I was going to take Ambipom over Raichu, removing a ground weakness while not losing the utility that Raichu was going to bring. So, with our 4th and 5th picks, we grabbed Shocks and Ambipom. The next round was fairly uneventful for us, so 6th and 7th were Delphox and Lucario. Now we had the dilemma. We had 17 points remaining. We needed a Water type and ideally a Dark type and a Dragon type. There was an obvious pick for the Dragon. Hydreigon is a Dark Dragon. It is 4 times weak to Fairy. But in terms of truly offensive Fairy types, only Sylveon, and Valiant, Gardevoir, Primarina have been drafted. So there wasn't much in the way of stab Fairy damage out there unless a team wants to burn Terra to stop it. Plus, with Levitate, it gives us a ground immunity. I think it was the right pick, which leaves us with the Water type. Which leaves us with Water type. This was the harder pick. I liked Vaporeon. It's just too slow. I spent the majority of the next 20 picks going over and over the lower tiers, looking for a Pokemon that fit the team. Did I even need a Water type? I looked at the type chart. I needed something that either patched up weaknesses or at least didn't add to them. I didn't really want to double up on typings, so it was back to Water. Then a little voice in my Discord DMs pointed me towards a very interesting Pokemon. Lowitzer. Its ability, Mega Launcher, boosts its pulse moves, and for some reason Aura Sphere, by 50%, making Dark Pulse, for example, from an 80 base power move to a 120 base power move, essentially giving it stab on those moves. Yes, it is slightly slower than Vaporeon and doesn't have the support toolkit that Water Eevee has, but it's far more offensive, which fits the team a lot better. It will be able to take advantage of Tailwind in the non-mirrors and give me an offensive piece into the Trick Room matchups, where I'm not going to be able to prevent Trick Room going up. So, with those 2 picks, this is the team going into week 1. I think it has a lot of synergy. Works very well together. Obviously, Wims works with Ape, Lucario, Sandy Shocks, and Delphox because of Beat Up and Sunny Day. Ambipom works really well with Lucario and Annihilate, and can help out Wims because of Fake Out. Plus, it's got some other really cool tech options. Ogerpon is kind of just Ogerpon. It's such a strong support that can help anyone. But it's an insanely strong offensive piece as well that can hit the ground types that the likes of Lucario, Sandy Shocks don't want to deal with. So can Clawitzer. Clawitzer really benefits from Whimsicott. Sandy Shocks can provide non-prankster speed control in Electro Webs if, for some reason, I don't want to run Wims, or into the Tailwind Mirrors. Shocks and Lucario also have the ability to hit the Fairy types that would threaten Annihilate or Hydreigon if they don't defensively Terra. Shocks with coverage and natural speed, Lucario with Stab Bullet Punch or any of the other steel moves it has access to. There's also the fun Gravity Hypnosis strats with Delphox and Sandy Shocks, which can benefit any sweepers I decide to bring, and gives me the option to really slow the game down. On the surface, it's a little one-dimensional. That's also part of its strength. You know what it's supposed to do, but can you stop it? I came out of the draft really happy with what I had. The team doesn't have the immediate damage output that Walking Wake would have brought, but at the same time it doesn't feel much less offensive. It's just a little bit more setup reliant than I initially wanted. It's pretty damn close to my style of play and has some great meme opportunity and tech options in it. I'm really excited to get this going, combining everything I've learned in my first 12 months playing Pokemon with what I think is the best team I could possibly have drafted. Week 1 is just around the corner, and in a weird twist of fate, we open the season against my good friend me. You will not want to miss that. So smash that subscribe button, hammer the bell, and I will see you all very, very soon.